All right, today we're diving into the extraordinary story of Evelyn Glennie. She's a world-famous percussionist, but her story is going to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about music, and even what it means to listen.
So, here's the big question, the one that just stops you in your tracks. How can one of the world's most sought-after, most celebrated musicians be profoundly deaf? I mean, it sounds completely impossible, right? But for Evelyn Glennie, it's just her reality.
And this quote from another legend, master percussionist James Blades, gives us a huge clue. He said, "What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us." So right away, we know the answer isn't about hearing in the way you and I think about it. It's about feeling. It hints at this incredible perception of sound that's, well, it's almost beyond what we can imagine. Okay, so to really get this, let's wind the clock back. I want you to picture this, a 17-year-old Evelyn Glennie. She's just arrived from her family's farm up in Scotland, and she's walking into her first day at the super prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London. Talk about a huge challenge waiting for her. Now, what's really important to understand is that this wasn't something that happened overnight. Her deafness wasn't a sudden event. It was this slow, gradual process, a fading out of sound that actually started way back when she was just a kid. And you can see how it happened right here. It all starts at age 8. Her mom calls her name to come play the piano, but no response. Then, by age 11, her grades at school are starting to slip. A specialist finally gives them the diagnosis. It's severe hearing loss from gradual nerve damage. The doctors even suggested she go to a school for the deaf. But, well, Evelyn had very different plans.
Can you even imagine hearing that news? As a kid who loves music, it must have been absolutely devastating. She said it herself, everything suddenly looked black. I mean, that's a moment that could have just crushed her dreams of being a musician right then and there.
But here's the thing about Evelyn. She didn't give up, not a chance. And this is where the story takes a turn, because a really important person enters her life, her percussion teacher, a guy named Ron Forbes. You see, where other teachers just saw a problem, a limitation, he saw something else entirely. He saw potential.
And he gave her this one piece of advice that, honestly, changed everything. He told her, don't listen through your ears. Try to sense it some other way. It's so simple, but so profound. He wasn't focused on what she couldn't do. He challenged her to find a new way in, to discover a totally different way of experiencing sound.
So they did this simple experiment. Ron Forbes took 2 big drums, tuned them to different notes, and said, okay, feel the vibrations. And that's when it clicked. Suddenly, she realized she could feel the higher-pitched drum from her waist up and the lower-pitched drum from her waist down. It was a breakthrough. She could literally tell the difference between notes using her body.
That was it. That was the turning point. She had figured out how to basically bypass her ears and tune into the music with her entire body. It was a complete game changer, a whole new way of thinking about her relationship with sound.
So you're probably wondering, okay, that's cool with 2 drums, but how does this work in a full-on performance? Well, that initial discovery wasn't just a one-off. It evolved into this incredibly fine-tuned skill, a way for her to physically interpret the entire complex world of music through vibrations.
The way she describes it is just amazing. She says the music pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. It's not just a dull rumble. It's this incredibly detailed, all-encompassing physical experience. And she has this very specific technique to make it happen. You'll often see her performing on a wooden stage, and she always takes her shoes off. That's not just some quirky stage habit. It's so she can feel the vibrations travel directly from the floor, right up through her bare feet, up her legs, and into the rest of her body. She's literally grounding herself in the music. And it's not just through her feet. Think about an instrument like the xylophone. When she plays, she can actually feel the unique vibration of each different note pass up through the stick and right into her fingertips. It's an unbelievably refined sense of touch. So, you take this unique ability, you add a ton of sheer gritty determination, and what you get is the launch of an absolutely incredible career. She didn't just get by despite her deafness. She used it to completely revolutionize the world of percussion. And her talent was just undeniable, right from the start. Remember that audition for the Royal Academy? The very place that was kind of hesitant to even let her in? Well, she didn't just scrape by. She scored one of the highest marks in the entire history of the school. It was the ultimate proof that her way of listening wasn't a disadvantage. It was a superpower. And get this, her range is just mind-blowing. Over her career, she's mastered something like 1,000 different instruments. 1,000! We're not just talking about your standard drums and xylophones here. We're talking about a massive global collection of percussion instruments, each with its own unique feel, its own vibrational fingerprint. It's no wonder she's known as the world's top multi-percussionist.
And her career is just this incredible list of firsts and huge achievements. I mean, she was already touring the UK with a youth orchestra when she was just 16. She then transitions from playing in an orchestra to being a solo performer. She cleaned up, winning most of the top awards during her 3 years of study. And then in 1991, she nabs the Royal Philharmonic Society's Soloist of the Year award. But maybe the biggest thing she did was change how we see percussion itself. She dragged it from the shadows of the back of the orchestra and put it right up front, center stage, as a powerful solo act.
But, her story goes way beyond just the musical awards and accolades. Her legacy is just as much about being a source of pure inspiration.
And for someone who's lived such an incredible life, her philosophy is really simple and relatable. She doesn't see herself as some kind of hero. Her message is actually for all of us, and it's this: if you work hard and know where you are going, you'll get there. Pure and simple.
And she really lives by that. She gives free concerts in places like prisons and hospitals. She makes it a huge priority to teach classes for young, aspiring musicians. Anne Richland from the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children called her a shining inspiration. And that really says it all. She's become this incredible symbol of hope, especially for people with disabilities, who look at her and say, you know what, if she can do it, I can too.
So in the end, Evelyn Glennie gave the world so much more than just her incredible music. She totally redefined what it even means to listen. And her story leaves us with this really big, thought-provoking question. What if we're all capable of sensing the world in ways we've never even tried? What if, like her, we all have these hidden abilities, just waiting for us to discover them? It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?